Sort of top of mind and topical. I'll cover that right quick first, and then we can move on. But I decided after a few years, it's been really 3.5 years off of the bike, and I haven't thought about this until now. I watched tours go by every summer, and it never struck me. I continued to ride my bike and run marathons for fun. And somehow this I know they don't sound like fun, but I kept telling myself it should be fun, which it wasn't. But this summer something happened. I started to get in better shape, and I realized that the foundation that we started 10 years ago had a lot of success in the state of Texas, and we can talk about that, and had a lot of success in the United States, which we can talk about that. And we started to study the international burden of cancer, and of course everybody in this room has been touched and affected by the disease, either personally or in your community or at work or in your family or in your class or whatever. But around the world this disease kills 8 million people every year. We look at cancer one way, and we look at it as obviously a devastating illness. Other people in Africa or Asia or South America look at it completely differently. And so since we had what we consider to be a fair amount of success in Texas and the United States, we decided to take it to another level and to take this message, the Livestrong message, around the world. And so the best way to do that and leverage that was to race, to get back on the bike. Now, of course, I've got to be the person that goes out and trains every day and races and gets in shape. And I still hope I can do that. I think I can still do that. I'm not totally sure. It was the best way to really spread the message. So for me, there's two things. Obviously trying to be competitive again, but taking Livestrong around the world. And as you heard, we've sold 60 or 70 million yellow wristbands, and those aren't all sold to Americans. Many of these wristbands were sold around the world. But for me, this story and this journey began a long time ago. It began in 1996, October 2nd, 1996, when I came home from a competitive full-time season in Europe. I did the Olympic Games in Atlanta. I did okay, but I went back to my hometown of Austin, Texas, and I started to enjoy myself like I did most off seasons, hanging out with friends, going to see live shows, etc. One night I went out to a Jimmy Buffett concert, and I had this excruciating